Hey, what's going on, guys? It's a snowy day here in Colorado, and I just got done listening to a Sasquatch Chronicles episode that I didn't 100% finish on my podcast, and I clicked on like the last 10 minutes of it. It was a police officer, and he was talking about snowy footprints on this woman's roof who'd always call about something on her roof. And it reminded me of this funny story. Actually, it was before I had any experiences or anything, or I went looking for them, but I always would listen to the podcasts and, research whatever I could find on YouTube. And he's like, hey, you want to go out to this cabin, that my family owns, it's my grandparents, but we're trying to keep it in the family. And he was super passionate about this cabin out here. And he always told me about it, and I never went. He said you have to go down this really rocky road, and this kid bought a 4Runner just so he could drive up there because he had this little Honda car. And so I'm like, well, who are you going out there with? It was in the middle of winter like this, and he's like, oh, me and this girl. And I said, oh, you're going with a girl? No, I'm not gonna go out there and interfere with whatever's gonna go on out there. You guys just go have a good time. And he's like, no, really, you should go. I told him no, but when you go, I said, be careful because Bigfoot's out there. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, right. And he kind of chuckles. And I mean, I don't think he doubts that it's there, but he's probably thinking they're not here in Colorado. Like, they're not going to be at my cabin and stuff. So I'm like, seriously, bro? I start telling him some things. And he's like, well, if you're all into Bigfoot, then go. And I'm like, no, seriously, it's like winter. Just you and the girl go have a good time. I'm not gonna be part of that, whatever happens. So I end up seeing him like however long later, within the week or something, and he's like, hey, something happened up at the cabin. And I'm like, really? I'm like, what, you see footprints in the snow or something? And he's like, dude, something ran across the roof and slid down the other side. And I'm like, what? And it's snowing hard. It was in the middle of a blizzard, but he said something went boom, 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 all the way across the roof from one end of the cabin to the other, and then it slid off and knocked all the snow off. And it was super humorous because he didn't believe, but then I could tell, like, by the look on his face, he did believe, but he was like me. He was a real deep thinker about things. He was a little slower, but he would come to similar conclusions. And I really liked the guy because we were similar in thought, kind of like coming to the same kind of answers in life and stuff. And he was a real simplistic guy, but it was amazing that I could see him thinking about it, and maybe that thought kind of generated an experience for him or what. I wasn't trying to let him, I wasn't trying to bring it upon him or anything. I was just letting him know, be careful, you're going out there with a girl in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's been to this place for months, and you're going to go start a fire. And I'm just like telling him, be careful, protect yourself, whatever, just be aware of what can happen. And told him a bunch of different, stories and stuff that I had heard people talk about. And so it got his mind thinking, obviously. And then he goes and actually has what I feel like was an experience with this thing. And it was just really, really funny to come back. He wasn't like scared or anything. He was just more like amazed and like kind of connected our minds even more. And he realized, wow, you told me about something that I didn't really think could happen. And then bam, it happens. So I don't know, it's an amazing power, the power of your mind. But just wanted to let everybody hear that story on this nice snowy day. All right, take care.